Welcome to the International Business and Law Academy. My name is Ruby, and today I would like to introduce to you the subject litigation and jurisdiction. First, we would like to discuss one case study to understand the nature and function of the jurisdiction in litigation. What is jurisdiction? That is the case of Gulf Consolidated Services v. Corinth Pipeworks. Facts. Gulf Consolidated Services, a Texas corporation operating under the same name as the International Material and Services, IMS, purchased 1,260 joints of steel oil field casing from Corinth Pipeworks, a Greek corporation with its principal office in Athens, Greece. After the joint arrives in Texas, IMS had them threatened and then sold 66 of them to the United Pipe and Supply United. During drilling operations, several of the castings failed, costing United over $400,000 in losses. Analysis of the failed castings indicated they contained seam defects that were traceable to Corinth. When the suit was filed against Corinth in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Texas, the Greek company argued it lacked sufficient contacts with Texas for it to be subjected to personal jurisdiction of the District Court. In particular, Corinth argued that it purposely structured its conduct so it avoids being subject to the jurisdiction of the Court of Texas. For instance, it maintained its offices and factory in Greece and was not registered to do business in the U.S. It had no agent office or assets in the U.S. Furthermore, IMS and Corinth negotiated their contract by telegram, and the actual sale occurred in Greece. So the issue here is, did the U.S. District Court have personal jurisdiction over the Greek company? Please, everyone, we would like to discuss this case together and talk specifically about the case of a dispute, and at the same time give a justification for the applied theory.
Gulf Consolidated Service, a Texas corporation in the United States, operating under the names of International Material and Services, which is IMS, for Corinth Pipeworks, a Greek corporation with a principal office in Athens and Greece. This is the case of two firms that are located in two different countries, can dispute and occur by the law of private international law, and it's often used private parties and bring their lawsuit before the domestic court systems.
Would you like to add, Anne?
When suit was filed against Corinth in the United States District Court for Southern District of Texas, the Greek company argued it lacked sufficient contacts with Texas for it to be subject to the personal jurisdiction of the District Court. We should be clear what personal jurisdiction is. Does that prove for the case of the Greek company when suing in the U.S. court?
Personal jurisdiction is a court that also precludes from adjudicating a legal disputes unless it has personal jurisdiction over the defendants. This is generally not a problem if the defendant is a resident of the country where the court is located. And I also agree with Anne's point. We need to clarify about the personal jurisdiction when Corinth Pipeworks is sued in the U.S. court.
Wow, thank you for your comments. So then what is personal jurisdiction? We already got to that. And what evidence is there for the American court to judge a Greek company? Ms. Wang?
The situation is more uncertain when the plaintiff files a lawsuit against a non-resident. In those instances, the court doesn't have personal jurisdiction, and it can be shown that the non-resident defendant has maintained minimum contact with the country where the suit is brought. We must find minimum contact that Corinth has a presence in the United States.
What would be considered minimum contacts? Anne?
I would say minimum contact is when a foreign company is selling their products in that specific country's market. So Corinth's products are in the United States. That could be considered minimum contact.
I agree with Tenan because a business transaction usually is signed in the U.S. or the business does not have a office present in the U.S. Its trademarks are goods and are also considered the minimum contracts of the personal jurisdiction.
And disputes frequently arise during the life of most contractual relationship. However, in most instances, the parties can adjust their expectations and arrive at the peaceful solutions. And so in this case, where a voluntary settlement cannot be reached, a more drastic measures may be contemplated. Litigations occur when the disputes petitions the court to settle their disputes.
Once again, thank you for the insightful discussion. Now I'm going to talk about the case study and the final decision for did the U.S. District Court have personal jurisdiction over the Greek company? And our decision is yes. A party can, through its actions, avoid being halted into a foreign jurisdiction. However, a simple fact that a transaction is consummated outside a jurisdiction does not prevent sales from forming the basis of personal jurisdiction. The minimum contact requirements is satisfied and personal jurisdiction is proper, where a foreign defendant delivered a product into the stream of commerce with the expectation that it would be purchased by or used by consumers in the state where the court is located. Here, court's expectation that the castings would be used in Texas is indisputable. So thank you again for joining my discussion, and thank you to the International Business and Law Academy and Dr. Sung.